I look amazing. This is what I'm thinking as I'm laying on a towel next to a tree because I'm on the cut. It is the summer of 2022 and I'm with my family on a swimming lake. And suddenly I hear a really annoying voice. Hey, Paul, do you want to come to swim with me? This is my little brother. No, I don't want to swim right now. But thinking a little bit more about it, I don't feel like doing anything. Normally I like swimming. Something is wrong. Something is truly wrong. This can't be right here. I open my eyes. It is 11 a.m. right now and I'm already tired. In this moment, I still have no clue what is causing that. But it's summer and I feel cold because I'm way too skinny. I'm laying there looking up at the tree, protecting me from the testosterone increasing sunlight, wearing sunscreen, which is poisonous. In this moment, I show all symptoms of low testosterone and suddenly my phone rings. I look at it. I look at it. It's my alarm. It's time for my next meal. So I carefully pulled out my lunchbox thinking, okay, after eating I maybe have more energy. And what is it? It is tofu with spinach. Back then, skinny vegan me had no clue how testosterone works. And this is why I easily missed out 30 extra pounds of lean muscle mass that I could have built since then. But back then, I was still part of the Matrix. This guide will get you through the testosterone crisis, the war of masculinity. This could actually change your life in just in a matter of just a few days. With many things I will mention here and talk about, I will offend many blue-haired girls. But not gonna lie. Listen and judge then. And when you judge the game, not the players. What is testosterone actually? Is the question you might ask yourself right now. Testosterone is a sex steroid hormone. This is some scientific shit, so you must realize this. Men have mainly testosterone in their bodies. This is the hormone which makes them masculine, basically, which makes muscles grow, which makes them act in a masculine way, basically. And females, so women, have estrogen, which makes them feminine. This is how it should look like normally, but sadly it doesn't. And this guide is mainly intended. This guide is mainly intended for young men who are sick of having too low testosterone. Testosterone has the effects of beard growth, muscle growth, and even lust, so it makes you basically horny. And the effect which is most interesting is that it makes you like doing hard things. I know this sounds weird, but not. But when you're about to do something hard, for example, you have a workout, you work out really hard on a project you're really interested in, bro. This is a sign of really high testosterone. When you go to the gym and feel like I just can't wait to smash that workout, when you're excited to train legs, this is a sign of healthy testosterone levels. But most men sadly don't show those. Most men sadly just don't show symptoms like this. And this is why they clearly lack in testosterone. Every successful man, every successful athlete shows all symptoms of high levels of testosterone. Something else you also need to really understand is that your great grandfather had about 1000 nanograms per deciliter of testosterone. You don't remember this, but let's just say his level of testosterone was 1000. Where do you think is the average now? Back then it was 1000. It's 400 today. So you see, there are many things causing men to have very low testosterone. So we need to work on that. And this guy tells you what the effects of NoFap are. How to use your phone correctly so it doesn't impact your testosterone. Which clothing can even impact your testosterone. Which food is so poisonous that it kills your testosterone completely. But I will also tell you what the most masculine workouts are, which make your testosterone just skyrocket, and which foods are true testosterone boosters. There's a ladybug. Hey, come, fuck off. The first testosterone killer. Water. Man needs estrogen. You need to understand this. Estrogen in a male's body is like salt, and testosterone is a steak. So you need a tiny pinch of estrogen for every big mass of testosterone. But most men have way too much estrogen in their bodies. It's like they take a whole sprinkle of salt, open it, and put all of that over the steak. In the 1940s, Dr. Carl Di Gerasi, a Mexican scientist, had a really bad idea. Back then, the testosterone crisis, the decline of testosterone levels in males have already started, but was still under control. But he invented something he marketed and sold all over the world. It was birth control. The birth control pill many women and even minors take nowadays as a form of contraception. This pill has many side effects on the woman who takes it. But what is way more interesting about this is how the pill actually works. Because it's basically full of hormones impacting the woman's body, which is bad for her. But the hormones actually never go. She pees them out basically. And you think like now, okay, yeah, maybe I should avoid woman's pee. No. It goes into the drinking water, but it never gets filtered out. So the hormones stay in the water. And you drink it. And I drink it. And your family drinks it. And mothers who are pregnant drink water full of and pregnant mothers drink water which is filled with hormones which make you unable to get pregnant. Pregnant women drink this water, kids drink this water, baby drink this water, and you also. And with that, I want to introduce you to the biggest chapter of this guide: estrogenics. Estrogenics are substances which are all over, spread over our environment, and impact your hormone levels. There are different kinds, but they are everywhere. They cause much bad shit, and a significant decrease in the testosterone is just the tip of the iceberg. So we need to avoid this shit, like cats avoid bathing. So I come to the second killer: chemicals in our environment. Later in this guide, I will tell you step by step how you can avoid them, and then make your testosterone skyrocket back again to the point it is supposed to be. But at first, you need to understand what those chemicals are and what they cause. The first one I want to talk about is bisphenol A, or as you might know it better, BPA. BPA is a chemical found in plastic. So, for example, I don't have anything here. For example, when you have a water bottle made of plastic, it's hard. But if you could take it, smash it on the floor, and it would break, and would completely break and split up. It is a hard plastic. BPA is the chemical which mainly makes it so hard. They did actually an experiment with BPA. So imagine a tank full of fish. So like a tank full of fish, and they put like fish in there with water and food so they can swim around. They contaminate the water of the fish with BPA for 1 week. Then you get into a new tank with fresh water, rich, healthy water. And then it's time to mate for the fish. Scientists looking at this experiment notice that they have way less children than they are supposed to. And one of them has a deformed dick. So this fish isn't even able to reproduce himself. So his bloodline ends there. This is all clear water, and those fish reproduce again. They have only a few children, and all of them are infertile. If the grandparents of the now infertile fish were all of the species, it would have gone extinct because their grandparents were exposed to BPA for 1 week of their life. Generations later, this still had an impact. And now this chemical is everywhere in your environment. You touch it, you breathe it every single day. And we see consequences. We see a rise in obesity, depression, blood pressure, and whatnot, heart issues, a decrease in fertility, sperm count, and testosterone. We have pumped our environment full of this chemical and see the consequences. If you're interested, what BPA specifically causes is erectile dysfunctions. So if you are a family member of yours suffers from this, you know now why. Second chemical I want to talk here about is phthalates. I hope I said it correctly. I hate those scientists who are so bad at naming things. Okay, imagine a group of scientists, smart scientists. They want to research about those topics, about all those estrogenics, of all those bullshit chemicals in your environment. They are trying to find people who aren't contaminated yet with those chemicals, but they don't find any. Because in the USA, everybody is contaminated with this shit. Whether they live in the countryside or in the city. So they go to Alaska. They search for Alaskan natives and invite them. And they are actually finally the first people they met without phthalates in their fucking blood. They look at the health of those natives and compared to the average American. And they see the difference is heart health, blood pressure, hair growth, everything, all this shit is significantly better in those Alaskan natives. I've told you the plastic water bottle, which is kind of hard, the more expensive one you can buy and use like 100 times. But there are also those shitty water bottles you can kind of squish, and there's like iced tea in there, which tastes fucking disgusting, but people still buy the shit. This contains another chemical called phthalates. It's actually a group of chemicals which are basically used to make the plastic clear, so you're more likely to buy the Coke Zero. Oh, the Coke Zero might be healthier than a normal Coke, man. This one is shit because phthalates, they're like this special ingredient, making the plastic just more clear, so you're more likely to buy it and makes it squishy. Phthalates are shown to significantly decrease testosterone and increase estrogen. They are poison, and you need to avoid this shit at all costs. It's also a chemical found like in foil. Like it's also a chemical found in plastic foil. You've seen those shitty food videos where they make those crazy food combinations and then they put plastic foil over everything. They're contaminating themselves and you if repeated actually with poison. The third killer. Food. I've already told you that I was a vegan and someday this went out of control. So I'm at home and receiving a package, a big ass heavy package. I open it and there are old bags of soybeans in there. I think like, oh, so much protein. This is so healthy. So it has so many nutrients. So I cook it with like my pressure cooker. This is a side thing. This is really useful. But I use like this pressure cooker, cook it as a meal prep, and put it in tiny little meal prep boxes made of BPA. But after eating this shit, I directly see the consequences. I reacted way too late. So every single day from now on, try to get my calories down by eating like soybeans with like by eating soybeans, just sprinkling a little bit of salt on it. It tastes disgusting. I don't really see any gym results, but I think like, oh, protein and there's so many calories. I need to bulk up. I had to stop when my digestive issues and health issues got so bad because I ate this shit. You know what changed it all? Just following a simple chicken, rice diet. Just following the classic chicken, rice, bodybuilding diet, adding some vegetables, and it already worked way better. So I realized that soybeans contain estrogen, and in particular, isofla- in particular, they are called isoflavones. So, soy, soy flax, and lavender contain estrogen. And you might not believe me, but here are the actual numbers. In soy, there are 100,000 micrograms of isoflavone, so the soy estrogenic. Then in flaxseed, there are 380,000 micrograms of estrogenics. Now I want to mention here, when you consume small quantities of flax seeds, they are actually been shown to prevent breast cancer and be healthy for you and support all of your health shit, but don't eat too many of them. But in small quantities, it's actually a good idea to consume flax seeds. But consuming flaxseed oil, which is something I did in the past, is a really bad idea. Also, lavender and cannabis increase estrogen dramatically. So if you haven't gotten a good reason to not smoke weed, you have it now. Beer also contains estrogenics. And when you look at your fat uncle who always drinks beer, like, I'm so cool, I'm so masculine, I drink a lot of beer, I can take so much. Does he have tits? Don't we all have this one uncle who loves drinking beer and has huge tits? Look at all those old guys who drank beer for whole of their life. They have all tits now. So if you avoid this shit, if you just simply do this simple step and avoid beer, you won't end up like them. By the way, if you don't believe me, the plant hop beer is made of is the shit that brings the estrogen in beer. So if you find like a hop-free beer, it might be better for you, but there's still alcohol in there, which is also really bad for testosterone. So it's just not worth it. But if you really need to drink with your degenerate friends, make sure that it's a beer without the plant hop. Many food is also sprayed with a chemical called atrazine, which is basically, how to say, it's just poison. It's just poison. Like they put atrazine on a field. It rains down on the field and all of this atrazine leaks into nearby rivers and lakes. And what happens to the living creatures there? To the fish, to the frogs. They've looked at the frogs nearby those fields, and what happened? They were gay. Those frogs had fetishes for other male frogs. Male frogs were laying eggs because they were contaminated with a chemical called atrazine. There's actually this weird guy who puts this chemical deliberately on frogs, makes them gay and then sells them, bro. This is just sick, man. Okay, other forms. Every single form of plastic. I've looked at some interviews with the heading scientists in this area. We don't know any form of plastic which is safe. So the plastic in your phone, your computer, the lamp I have right next to me, the plastic on your wall, even the paint they use for your wall can be contaminated with like poisonous chemicals. So every single chemical you don't understand, probably don't put it in your environment or don't even think about eating it. By the way, it might be a sponsor tip. I have here, this company is called Vivo Life. It's like a vegan company. It's still like, I used it much when I was a vegan, but I actually still use it much because it makes really good supplements. But there The packaging is actually made of organic materials. So I could literally use it up, all of the supplement in there, which is creatine here, and put this and throw it into my garden. It would actually become dirt. So this is already way safer for you than those shitty normal plastic chemicals. Maybe you find something like this. Something else I wanted to mention here. If you now think, okay, I need to avoid plastic bottles, I just buy canned food. Canned food isn't just metal. In the can in there's actually plastic. Cans are also BS. The only thing which is completely safe, which is basically your friend material, it's glass. It's glass or this cup here, it's made of clay or metal. If you can buy a metal water bottle like I have in my gym bag, this is already a good idea. This is also a good idea. But everything containing plastic or weird chemicals, make sure that it doesn't touch your food. It will hurt every single gym bro. So look at your clothes. What are the clothes you're wearing right now? What are they made of? Here, back here, there's always the label. It's so difficult to read, but you might find like a part of it saying, okay, this is made of 40% of this and 50% of this and 10% of this. If it says anything else than 100% cotton, it's BS. So that means polyester and nylon. The materials most gym clothing is made of are complete BS and lower your testosterone. So this is basically made for you to be healthier and active, but makes you less healthier and less active. So those chemicals are basically poisonous. And all those companies like Gymshark, and maybe they don't know this, but if you're honest here, they probably know this. They just know that no matter which, they just know that polyester and nylon just sell better. So if you're smart, you buy 100% cotton clothing, no matter where you are, whether you're at the gym or at home. So this is what I'm wearing right now. It's all cotton, except of the head, sadly. Something else that also is highly estrogenic is ingredients you don't know. When you buy some food when you buy some food which is already processed and look at the backside, it has like E104 and glycomonohydrate and glycosyrup and all this shit. You have no clue what that means. There's a really high chance that all those weird chemicals are poisonous to you. If you give a shit, bro, if you give such a big shit about this, at least make sure to always avoid red food coloring. So when companies make when companies try to make, for example, candy red, they put like E3 or E40. Those are basically food dyes which make the food look red, but they are highly poisonous. So stop eating Skittles, stop eating candy, stop eating all this shit. Most of those food chemicals are already banned, but E3 and E40 are still legal. Sunscreen contains those chemicals. I have that written down here. Benzophenol and methylbenzolidene. Every time you see on the backside of any product, whether it's cosmetics or food, see a word containing benzo, don't buy it, bro. This is a sign that it might be extremely estrogenic. So avoid normal sunscreen. But you might think, no, but I need to work outside, I need to go to the beach. And bro, I understand. I said normal sunscreen. So there's also organic sunscreen, which doesn't contain all this shit. You can basically just put coconut oil, bro. I did this summer. Just put coconut oil on your skin and you might be good to go. But when you're working outside for hours and hours, maybe just buy some organic sunscreen. I will later show you which company you can buy this from. Soaps and cosmetics also contain weird chemicals which lower your testosterone. Sorry, I don't make the rules. And living in America. So in all my research I have done, I found that America basically allows almost all of them. If you're lucky and live in Europe, you might have you've already avoided many of those chemicals, but you have already avoided many of those chemicals, but many, for example, the birth control in the drinking water is still legal. Also, literally anybody who lives in China is fucked. You can already imagine this. If you live in China, you're fucked. How do you avoid those chemicals? So I basically have here a simple 3-step plan you can follow for for your whole life basically. You can follow for your whole life basically, but if you have the money, maybe just a few years. Maybe just a few years. Okay. The first step, you quit smoking and drinking. Bro, anything I will tell you here won't do shit if you still smoke and drink every single day. If you have one cigar per month, this won't do shit. But if you literally drink and smoke every single day, bro, of course, of course, this won't do shit. This won't do shit. So avoid soy protein, and don't eat too much flaxseed. If you don't eat too much flaxseed. If you put like a spoon in your oats, bro, this won't do anything. But don't eat too much of it. If you're a vegan like I was, just put just use just just use pea, hemp, rice protein, just a protein blend which doesn't contain anything with soy. And all the more expensive protein powders don't contain any soy because they know what this causes. Stop touching any receives or hand sanitizer. So from all those weird chemicals, the two big bad boys are hand sanitizer and the receive. So you buy something at the supermarket and then the cashier comes, oh, take the receive with you for no reason at all because you don't need this shit. This is also highly estrogenic. Look at this shit. This isn't even real paper. This is like, I don't even know what this is, but this has been shown to be extremely poisonous. Yeah, basically stop buying normal shit. So every time you from now on buy some soap, you go to this weird vegan organic store where the woman with 20 tattoos in her face and piercings everywhere stands at the cash and, oh, you want to buy some organic soap? This is the place you want to go, where those hippie vegans sell you this organic shit because they are actually onto something. Because when you, for example, I've bought a completely organic soap, completely organic. Those are like oil, and it actually smells really good. Like oil and herbs in there. It actually smells really good. I can really recommend to you this. When you buy like some liquid soap, make sure it's organic and don't buy everything in plastic. When you try to wash your hands, just use normal soap. Or when you buy cosmetics, if you have like maybe it's your sister who uses normal cosmetics, maybe for her birthday buy her some organic ones so she doesn't poison herself and everybody she comes in contact with. And by the way, should have mentioned this earlier. This red food coloring is also in lipstick. So every girl with lipstick who kisses your dick makes you basically infertile. So maybe keep that in mind. But I guess you could basically just buy everything from Amazon. And okay, the last thing, tell your girlfriend if you have one, that you should stop using the pill. I will link in the description organic condoms, so you can use them instead of this shitty pill which basically degrades her ability to have children in the future. So don't make sure that your girl doesn't take the pill. You should really start with the first step because they have the highest ROI. But then you should directly move on to the second step. Quit candy. Because in most processed candies there are all of those weird chemicals, Skittles, and bro, do you know what is even in there? E400, bro. This is just weird. And if you buy like organic candy, bro, this is still sugar. This is still just pure sugar. This also degrades testosterone. So just quit candy, man. You're you're on the 4-year old. Buy only organic foods. I know this sounds expensive, but if you have high testosterone, there's a high chance that you will make a lot of money, one way or the other. So just keep in mind that organic food is basically just a small testosterone boost every time you eat it, except of soy. No more water bottles. Stop buying any water bottle. Stop buying any water bottles, whether there's just water or some iced tea or cola in there. Bro, this is all unhealthy for you. Mostly buy glass or steel. For example, when you go to the butcher and he has like some good quality meats there, I always take my stainless steel metal boxes to him and saying like, hey, okay, please put it in there. So it decreases the contamination of plastic the meat comes in contact with. Stop using non-stick pans. So you might know, there are like those non-stick pans you can make pancakes with, or protein French toast, all those fitness influencers talk about. But what they don't tell you is, what do you think? What do you think is why those pans don't stick? They have a thin layer of plastic on it. And this would be just something minor, but when you heat plastic up, of course, these chemicals are more likely to leak into the food and the environment. So it's also the last thing this is also the last thing you should keep in mind. Keep plastic away from sunlight and heat, because the UV light also makes the chemicals leak more in the environment. So when you really need to buy something wrapped in plastic, make sure that the plastic doesn't come in contact with any light. Or if you have like some garden tool with like some rubber on it, make sure that it doesn't stay in sunlight. The third step. Bro, this is the last step you should truly follow, because this is the expensive step. Through the normal water filtration system, nothing of the estrogenics get filtered out. So, if your country doesn't do it for you, you do it yourself. And it's actually quite easy, but a little bit expensive. So there's this filter called reverse osmosis filter. You can basically plug in under your sink. So the water you get in, the normal tap water you get now, is completely free of this shit. And I promise you, when you install this and only use this water, you will decrease your estrogen. You will cut it in half completely. You will cut it in half. So this is highly powerful and a really good investment. You must realize this. This will make your testosterone increase directly, because you stop consuming this ugly ass tap water. Also, your family. You must realize this. Your family will your family also won't drink this shit any longer. So they all get healthier. Maybe your mom gets more active. Your brother, your sister, your father. You see them have a glow up just because they stop consuming those weird chemicals. Drink distilled water. This might be even healthier, but bro, it's just a pain in the ass. I've looked at it. You can either buy a really expensive 2K water filtration machine, which makes your water distilled, but this is just a pain in the ass to use, so I don't really recommend this for most people. But if you're really serious about it and it would be and you have like 2K in your bank account and you want to invest it in something good, maybe buy this one. Next thing, move away from the cities. So I've already told you that in the cities that all those weird chemicals are more like in the cities. So you must realize this. Most women in the cities want to get laid often because they are degenerates. It's just how it is. They all take birth control. There's even more birth control in the water. And the sad thing, even the lakes near the cities, when you like fishing or want to go swimming in those lakes, they are all contaminated with the birth control from the women who take it. Not want to hate them women, but nobody ever told them. It is truly smarter to live more on the countryside, have like this classic farmer's house on the countryside where you know all your neighbors with the dog and cat. I guess like a mountain region or especially North countries seem to be very legitimate. So there are very little estrogenics. If you live like in Iceland, the water there is actually so clean you don't even need one of those water filters. They all they only use spring water there, which is one of the best, which is literally the best water you can get. And the last thing is improve yourself so much until the point you have maybe a business or a really high salary career so you can afford to build a house completely free of those weird estrogenic chemicals. Literally, my wall is made of, literally, maybe your wallpaper is made of estrogenic chemicals. The glue, it's glued to the sides, the paint, everything, the floor, even the seat I'm sitting on. Actually put a shirt between the seat and my ass, so the contamination my balls go through is a little smaller. So building a house, building a house with completely estrogenic free, maybe it's running on spring water, bro. This is the best thing you could do. You will have 3 times higher testosterone than now. You will do one single biceps curl in the gym and your biceps will grow. But this is a lifelong journey you can follow on. But just having this vividly in mind, like, okay, I should build my house here. Just having this idea in mind directly change the way you will directly change the decisions you will make in the future. So just keep in mind, this might be a lifelong journey for you, and also for me, and for most people listening to this. But being serious about this will not only support you, will support your whole ancestors. And if you follow this correctly, you must see it like this. If you follow this correctly, most of the people you know have never followed this, so their children will be fucked. Half of them will be infertile. Half of them won't. Half of them will have erectile dysfunctions. They won't even work. They have so low testosterone that they can't even show the slightest discipline to work on something. And then your children go to the gym because it's fun. Yeah, I go to the gym because it's fun. I work out because it's fun. Honey, I will go hiking for the next few weeks just because it's fun. They enjoy the shit because they have extremely high testosterone. You must see it like this. Your children won't look like normal children because you have always avoided this. They have always avoided this. Your future wife, she has also avoided this. Then you raise fucking athletes who are like 10 times stronger, who are 2 times smarter than the average, who grew up in a house not even touching any of those chemicals, not even drinking the estrogenic tap water. They don't even know what plastic is. This is the dream in my head. And some people will say, oh, this is extreme. Is extreme. You can't raise healthy children. They all need to be just normal and shitty and stupid. Just like me. Because I don't want to follow this protocol. So since now we have only focused on shit we need to avoid, shit that causes our testosterone to decline, which makes our estrogen rise, which is poisonous to us. But from now on, we'll focus on the more fun part, which is increasing our testosterone directly. The first step, balls. So your balls basically like it cool. You can imagine this. Your balls are hanging on the outside because they like it cool. They don't like it to get hot. So you should just avoid getting your balls too hot and keeping them cool for optimum testosterone production. And one way you can do this is just avoid sitting for too long. So if you're like in school or office work or for some reason at all, you need to sit for many hours of the day. Just make sure that it's the least amount possible. Instead of chilling on the couch in the evening after having this hard day sitting in your office chair, have a walk, go around. When you're at the gym, make sure that your gym shorts aren't too tight and can get enough fresh air, which cools your balls then. Also, heated seats, heated car seats. For women, they are okay, but for men, they are just poisonous. Also, just I need to show this to you here. Never, never sit like this. Never sit like a pussy like this. Icon. Icon. Shit. This looks weird. I call this sitting position the nut cracker. Never sit like this, bro. This is so unhealthy, and bro, it's so fucking cringe. Don't sit like a bitch. You can already imagine. Don't put anything that heats your balls up nearby. So if you have like any device that heats your not know your hands or anything, just make sure that it's far away from your balls. And now we come to something more controversial. Never, promise to me this. Never put your phone in your front pocket. So your phone is basically a device which uses electricity to function. But what does this electricity turn into? If you're good in science, you know exactly you can't destroy energy. Energy will always be there in some way. The energy from your phone becomes heat. So when you put it right next to your balls, it heats up your balls. And when you do this for hours at a time, you will lose testosterone over the time. Also, your sperm production goes down. It's we mainly talk here about testosterone, but all the tools I mentioned here are also really good for fertility. So you need to realize this. When you put any device, for example your phone, just into your front pocket, it will heat up your balls automatically. There's this motherfucker ladybug. Also, this is more conspiracy theory, but your phone has also a little bit of radiation. This radiation has some impact on you. And when you put it like next to your head, it impacts your brain. Or next to your balls, it impacts the sperm production, testosterone production there. So I would just keep your phone or literally any device with radiation, even the Wi-Fi, away from any of those important spots. So you realize when you keep your balls cool, they produce more testosterone and sperm. So when you then take cold showers, of course, this increases your testosterone just for a short period of time. But when your balls are cool during a cold shower, they are optimal for producing testosterone. So the way I do it every single morning, you can ask my family. Every single morning, I wake up at 5 a.m. and the first thing I do is take a cold shower. The first thing I do is take a cold shower. This also makes you highly alert and awake. I've already told you that you need to avoid sunscreen, but since sunlight is extremely important for improving your testosterone. If you just get 20 minutes of sunlight exposure a day, this directly increases your testosterone. So it might be smart for you to buy like some organic sunscreen you can buy on Amazon or anywhere. Just get more sunlight. It's really important that it gets everywhere on your skin. So in the winter it's kind of difficult, but especially in the summer, just get a little bit more sunlight. The second step, nutrition. Yesterday I had a great meal. I made some scrambled egg. I made some rice with scrambled eggs and parsley and pepper and butter and a little bit of garlic. It tasted amazing. And do you know why I'm telling this to you here? Because this is an ideal meal for increasing your testosterone. For optimal testosterone levels, it's really important to follow a fat-rich diet. I'm not saying that you need to eat low carb, which is an option, but just having a high-fat diet is important. So you've been always told by the media that the fat is evil, cholesterol, and this is bad for you and causes blood clotting, and you need to eat high-carb diet. This is bullshit. This is bullshit. Eating animal fats, butter, eggs, they are all good for you. Here's the bro science. When you eat cholesterol, it's converted into testosterone, also in estrogen, but as a man, your body wants to keep healthy estrogen levels, so of course way much testosterone and estrogen. So when you then eat cholesterol, for example from eggs, this is good for your testosterone. Making them in butter is even better and tastes even better, if we're honest here. So the fat to recommend to you here are butter, olive oil, and coconut oil. If you have the skinny guy genetics I have, where it's difficult to build muscle and difficult to gain weight, I would really recommend to put much butter, much olive oil in every single one of your meals. For example, when I make rice, I don't just make rice. I take a huge chunk of butter, which is like 50, 70 grams, and put it on top of it. Sprinkle some salt, parsley, pepper. Bro, this tastes good. So what would we then use as protein? I've already told you that soy is bullshit, and I hope you follow this. Still, as protein source, eggs are also ideal. I'll be honest here. When you eat eggs, and when I say eggs, I mean many eggs, you get such a morning wood the next day, which is an indicator of good testosterone levels. For meat, I guess literally for meat, I would say literally any meat is okay. But what I would recommend is use the fattier cuts of meat. So when you buy any meat, just make sure that it's really fatty. This is especially important if you like have the skinny guy genetics as me. But then you make sure to get enough fat from animal sources, which then improves your testosterone again. Eating much beef has also been shown to increase your testosterone. And all in all, I think beef is such an underrated health food. It has also many amino acids and all the shit. Like, it has also all of those amino acids and the shit. If you follow the Human Lab podcast like I do, you also know that every time he says like, oh, this supplement and this supplement, and oh, you can also eat just much beef and improve this function of your body and organ meat. So you can already imagine this when you eat like beef liver or kidney, or you can also eat the testicles of a bull, which also has been shown to increase testosterone. So the actionable step you will follow here is take one of those and eat it more often. If I were you, I would just eat a little bit more organ meat. So one way I do it is you can buy like beef bones and make some bone broth out. You can buy some beef bones and make some bone broth out of it. Or when you have like rice, you can cook the bones so all the fat drips out, bro. This actually tastes also really good. And implement shit like this in your diet more often. And eating this with rice makes already a very good muscle building meal. Just include some vegetables and you're good to go. So, what about fish, you might ask yourself? And fish, this kind of hurts me, but seafood is kind of BS, and this will offend every single Asian in the world. But listen to me here. Seafood swims in the sea, and we've already learned that there are many shit plastic, that there are many shit chemicals everywhere in the sea, like birth control or BPA. You've already heard there is so much plastic in the sea, and the fish swims in there. So of course, the fish is impacted by this, and then you eat the fish, and you're also impacted this. Also, the overfishing industry is just also for some ethical reasons, because there's so much overfishing. Like the chance that some fish species, the chance that some common fish species, the chance that some common fish species will go extinct is actually pretty high. You might think right now, okay, what about fish who have been raised in like fish farms? And I know it sounds good, but listen to me here. Those fish are contaminated with many antibiotics, which basically cause bacteria to get resistant to the antibiotics. So this basically creates bacteria which is highly poisonous, and we don't have anything against them. So we basically train bacteria to kill us and fish and everyone. And those fish live in such tiny tanks, bro. This is just torture. This is just torture to those fish. So what about pool farms? So here in Austria we have this. I don't know where you have this in your country. We have pool farms here. So we make some. So we basically build a pool for those fishes in like nature, and like feed the fish, and then we fish it out of there, kill it, and eat it. Those are okay, bro. Those are okay. Yeah. Those are okay, but they're highly expensive, the meats there, bro. They are highly expensive. If you're like into fishing, make sure to fish in lakes which are far away from the cities, because I've already told you, from the cities, many chemicals leak into the lakes. Then you eat the fish out of there, and the chemicals are into you. Nuts. So I've already told you that you can eat the nuts of bulls. But you can also eat plant nuts to increase your testosterone. So when I was getting into fitness, I truly struggled to get the calories for bulking in. Until I had an idea. I realized that nuts are highly dense, not only in protein, but also in calories. So my idea was, from now on, I buy nut packs on a regular basis and just eat them on the go and put them next to my meals. And bro, my biking progress exploded. I've gained like 20 pounds in 2 months. It was insane. So adding nuts to my diet improved it significantly, and I've shown really good progress in a biking journey. And I actually maintained visible abs, not just think, oh, he just gained fat, bro. I maintained visible abs. So I guess that was okay. So what was so special about the nuts? It wasn't only the calories, because nuts contain all of those micronutrients, all of the zinc, iron you need for a proper testosterone production. So you can see it like this. Every nut you eat is a little testosterone booster you can use every single day, every single morning, and in the evening. A snack from this jar of Brazil nuts. From the internet, from some website, I've bought like big packages of Brazil nuts, and they still last today. So I basically take them like a supplement. Every single morning and every single evening, I eat 3 of those. And also, when you just snack some almonds during the day, don't eat too many, because this can cause really digestive problems. But if you eat like a handful of nuts every single day, if you eat like a handful of almonds every single day, like to your meals or on the go, this can also really boost your testosterone. So I would almost say nuts in general are testosterone boosters. The first step, woman. You will like this one. Okay, have you? I will put it like this. You know what ants are, and you know what like termites are. So when ants crawl on the ground, they don't just talk to each other like, "Hey, bro, there's some sugar there." No, no, no. They talk to each other with pheromones. This is the way ants communicate with each other. They put their ass on the ground, and this draws a line of pheromones on the ground. Other ants can follow, and this ant can follow again to find its way back like breadcrumbs. This is just one way they communicate with pheromones. Humans also communicate in a similar way, but it's more sexual, much more sexual, like many pheromone effects in animals are. So, for example, when a man is exposed, studies have shown this. When a man is exposed to the tears of women, he will significantly drop testosterone. And you might think, why does this happen? This doesn't make any sense. I see it like this. When a man isn't nice to a woman, her body will basically try to defend itself by dropping the man's testosterone, so he he isn't as needy towards her, because testosterone also increases lust basically. So he isn't as horny anymore. When you expose an adult man or a woman to a baby, so to the smell of a baby, the testosterone drops significantly. The estrogen goes up, but the interesting thing is that cortisol, the stress hormone, goes down. So what do we learn from that? Their bodies are basically preparing for storing much fat. But why? So they can survive in nights where they don't get much sleep, where they don't get much food. Or at least this is just one theory, but I think it's actually really likely. So you might keep that in mind. Don't cuddle too much with babies. Like, bro, this sounds horrible. This sounds horrible. If you're like a father and have a baby at home, don't just be a good father. Just be a good father, okay? Yeah. If you expose a minor girl to an adult man, bro, this doesn't sound good. If you expose a minor girl to an adult man who's ready to mate, she will start puberty sooner. And I don't need to explain to you why this happens. I don't need to explain to you why this happens. Or do I? Okay. But what are the effects of no fab? So fabbing directly doesn't really decrease testosterone. But if you're like a porn addict who lives in his cave at home and doesn't get any sunlight and can't even talk to girls, of course your testosterone is low. So go on NoFap, bro. Bro, just quit your porn addiction. Just quit your porn addiction, bro. This is just. I'm not the first one telling you this, but just don't say like, oh, but this increases my bench weight by 2%. Like, man, no, no, no. But having sex in any way doesn't seem to really impact testosterone, except if you do it like every day 5 times, then of course. Okay, this is a controversial part, and this is more like a myth, and I can't really confirm anything here, but you can try this out. Okay, one thing you need for this is a girlfriend. So, do you know what abstinence means? It's basically just edging with your girlfriend. So, when you do abstinence every single day for 1 week, it's been shown to boost testosterone by 400%. And this is more like a myth, bro. I don't have any research here. You don't even need to believe me. But you can try this out basically. If you have like a girlfriend now waiting for you in another room, maybe try that out. When you have an conversation with an attractive woman, for example, like a girl in your class, or I don't know, your best friend's mom, or your best friend's mom, or I don't know what you're into, your testosterone increases. And do I really need to explain to you why? So your body's basically getting ready, like, hey man, good time to mate. So the actionable step for this part of the guide is the next time you have an opportunity, you will have a conversation with an attractive woman and go no fab. I hope the attractive woman isn't your sister. The fourth step, stress. Basically, we have in our body two systems, the rest and digest system and the fight or flight system. So when you are resting and digesting, you want this, and when you're like in an emergency situation, for example, you have a workout, you're doing something hard, I don't know, are on a run, you want to have the flight or flight system activated. Now, you must see it like this. We have like a switch. We have like a switch. Normally, we want the rest and digest system activated, but then we are in an emergency situation. We want to have the workout. We want to do something hard. We just put the switch completely on and be completely alert. Then we finish the workout. We finish the run. We are now ready to eat again. Put it down again. So this is the ideal how it should look like, and this is the ideal you should follow. But most people actually don't. Most people do it like this. They put the switch in the middle and stay there for whole of their life. This is why of those office workers can't sleep, because they are never completely rested and they are never completely alert. They have brain fog all day because they are never really focused. Fight or flight is stress. So you understand, short-term stress is good, long-term stress is bad. And the long-term stress all of those office workers who never see sunlight have activated truly causes low testosterone, because you must see it like this. Cortisol and testosterone, so cortisol is stress hormone, are in like a constant dance. So when cortisol goes up, testosterone goes down. If it's like for 1 hour for a workout, who gives a shit? But when it's permanently, this is a bad thing. So cortisol goes up, testosterone goes down. So we need to reduce long-term stress to improve our testosterone. I love my dog. I love my dog. It's like a little sister to me. And we are on a walk. And the night before it snowed. So everywhere is snow. My dog is so excited, like looking everywhere, so excited to play in the snow. So since my dog is black, it's really difficult to see in the forest or in the fields, because it's really easy for it to get out of my eyes. But now everything is white, so I let it off the leash, it runs around and it explores everything, and then it runs back to me and put like its nose into the snow, like, and barks at me. So "Rah, rah, rah." So I join it and play with it, and we play around in the snow, and it gets tired. And I also get tired. So I take a little break and smile, just because of the situation. But I notice something about my dog. the way it breathes. It breathes through its mouth all the time. And then something comes into my head again. Humans aren't supposed to breathe through a mouth, but it seems like it's for dog it's okay. Just realizing that, I go back to playing with it. And always make sure to breathe through my nose, because that's where our power comes from. Because when you breathe through your nose, you significantly decrease your long-term stress. Humans aren't supposed to breathe out through our mouths. We are made for breathing through our nose. This is why we have this fucking thing in the middle of your face. So we can breathe properly. You can already follow an actionable step. Just do this with me. You take a deep breath into your mouth, through your nose, directly into your balls. Imagine yourself taking the breath down through your spine, as deep as possible. This is where the power comes from, because this is how we're actually supposed to breathe. This is more like a little bit of bro science, but just try this out. Every time before you do something hard, take a deep breath through your nose into your belly. And for the rest of your life, you make sure that you don't breathe through your mouth. Now, if you're like in a fight and do like this, bro, this is completely okay. This is like 1 hour a day. Who gives a shit? But for most of the time, just breathe through your nose, especially during cardio, because when you do cardio or anything where you just need to breathe much, make sure it's through your nose, because this basically trains your nose to get better at breathing. I'm feeling like an idiot because I have a conversation with an old man, because he tells me how true professionals train. We are both standing in the gym right next to the leg press, and he tells something to me. All of those professional bodybuilders, athletes, they train 1 hour a day. It doesn't take anything more. This staff already trained 3 hours. Think like, oh, I'm so disciplined. Here I clown train for the third hour of the day, where every single professional who hasn't anything else to do whose only job is to work out, already went home. Scientists have looked at how your body reacts to different periods of working out. So for example, when you work out longer than 1 hour, the cortisol in your blood, so the stress hormone, truly gets out of control. So when you only work out 1 hour, 1.5 hours maximum, and then just stop there. Just stop there. Just make it as hard as possible for the 1.5 hours. Stop there. Because you don't need anything more. You don't need anything more for getting jacked. Also, scientists have also looked at how good workouts can actually improve your testosterone, and what they found is really short, intense intervals have an immense effect on testosterone, and they combine it with another fact. In your legs, so the muscles you don't train, they're testosterone receptors. So friends, don't let friends skip leg day. So when you train legs, you also increase your testosterone. So now we combine a few things: short, intensity, and legs. So by doing compound movements where you use your legs in a short interval, you have a workout. You have a good workout, which is good for building muscle, but even better for building testosterone. So what did they do? They did 6 to 10 sets of compound exercises with 2 minutes rest in between those. And they saw a significant skyrocketing of testosterone in those people who performed those workouts. But after the 6 to 10 sets of compound movements like deadlift or squat, they just went home. They did the warm up before, but then they just went home. This is what significantly increased the testosterone. How can we implement this? Now, you're going to do 1 testosterone workout per week. If you have skipped leg day until now, this will be your leg day. Just do, I don't know, just do 10 sets of squats, 2 minutes rest in between those, go home. This will make your legs grow. This will make your legs grow like crazy and increase your testosterone dramatically. So you this is the same guy from the story who told me that professionals only train 1 hour. Once told me I've once read one of those weird bodybuilding magazines. They said the squat is the best exercise ever because the hormones get spread up in your body, so it makes the other muscles grow. And I thought like, bro, this sounds so stupid. But the magazine was actually right. The squat increases your testosterone. So just stop. So the actionable step for you here is implement one of those workouts once per week and stop skipping leg day. So, but to keep our stress, our long-term stress, as low as possible, you also need to work on your mental health basically. And now I know it doesn't sound so cool, and now you might don't really understand this, but when you increase your mental health, you have way less stress because you can deal with it way better. So the tool I'm offering to you here is meditation. Before I recorded this guide and wrote the script for another one, I've meditated for 20 minutes. I do this every single morning just to get ready and focused for my deep work. Meditation can truly transform your perception of life and the way you see things in the world. And the only thing I can recommend to you here, it's completely free, is you download the app Medito. Since I've started my channel, I have always linked this app in the description of my videos, so people might stumble over it and download it. So you download the app Medito, go to the Medito course there and go through all of those sessions, and you will learn step by step how to meditate. Bro, when you can do it, it's so simple. It's just you sit down and focus. This can change your perception of life completely. The last step, supplements. Many people will always tell you, oh, supplements are trash, they are a scam, don't buy supplements. But man, supplements is basically just hacking your health. So of course you need to follow a healthy diet because when you follow a shit diet and just replace everything with supplements, this won't do shit. But when you just add supplements, it's what they are intended as supplementation. They can work wonders for you. So I will just give you a quick list of supplements you can take to increase it, to make your testosterone skyrocket. So vitamin D3. So vitamin D3 makes your D3. It's always the formula in my head. When you take vitamin D3, it's been shown in many studies that it will bring your testosterone levels back to a healthy place. Now, D3 is a vitamin many people are deficient in, but it's really important that you have proper vitamin D3 levels. It's also good for your bones. So it's also really good for your bones. Boron. So boron is basically an element. It isn't essential, but the soil in most places in the world is very deficient in it. And I'm actually a skilled gardener. Many people don't know this, but I'm actually a skilled gardener, and I basically know how all those nutrients come from the soil, go through animals and plants, and then go back into the soil. So, for example, here in Austria, we don't really have much boron, but when you take boron, it increases your free testosterone. This means the testosterone which is actually available for testosterone receptors to have the effect on you. What is even more interesting is, if you don't want to supplement boron, you can also basically just buy boron fertilizer, put it in your garden, and eat the plants who grow there, because then they have way more boron in them. So, keeping that in mind, when you have much boron in the soil and eat the plants, your testosterone is higher. So it gets even more interesting. In Greece, so you know Greece, this pretty masculine country, the soils there are extremely high in boron. So now think back a few 100,000 years. Greece, the country with Hercules, Zeus, they embraced masculinity. There were warriors, there were Spartans there. So this is just my theory, but the reason why Greece was so masculine in the past is because of the boron in the soil. So Greece might also be a good country to move to, or you can just buy a shit ton of boron fertilizer and put it everywhere. Iodine. So iodine is also something many people are deficient in. I'm pretty sure that I'm also. So I've already bought some iodine supplements. They should arrive in a few days. Iodine is a supplement you can basically buy in form of oil, and the way you should use it is people won't take him serious. You need to use it and rub it on your throat because it's good for your thyroid. Now, you might probably do this, but you should also just rub it on your balls because this has also some good effects on you. The zinc. The zinc is needed for an enzyme which is needed for testosterone production. So, when you don't have enough zinc, this could actually be the bottleneck of your testosterone production. So, taking zinc supplements, I don't really think you need it, but just making sure to get enough zinc through your diet. I know lentils have it and meat have it. Just look up which foods have much zinc and add them to your diet. The last one, creatine. If I could only take one supplement, it would be creatine because creatine has like 100 different effects. Increasing testosterone is one of them. It also truly increases the form of testosterone which is needed for hair growth. So when you take creatine, you're more likely to get a good beard. Tongat Ali is also a supplement you can take. This is basically just one of those weird rainforest plants which has like 100 different effects on you. Increasing testosterone is one of them. I'm not aware of any negative effects of this supplement. I will repeat myself. Tongat Ali, vitamin D3, boron, iodine, zinc, and creatine. If I had to choose, I would only take creatine and vitamin D3 because they seem to have a really good impact on you. So, here's the big summary of this guide. Avoid soy, tap water, weird chemicals, plastics, your girl taking the pill, and heating your balls. Eat a fat-rich diet with eggs, organ meats, and nuts. Go no-fap. Talk to girls. Control your stress. Don't be a mouth breather. Don't work out like a clown like I did. Try testosterone workouts. Download the app Medito and take some supplements. Following this guide will basically get back the power you need, since testosterone makes you do hard shit and even enjoy it. This is the power of testosterone, and this has been taken from you this has been taken from men for the last few years, for the last few decades. I also understand that this might be a big shift to your lifestyle, and especially avoiding those estrogenics. Sounds extremely hard, but see it as a journey, not as a sprint. Because you are just one of the few people who actually know about this shit. You've never been taught this shit in school. Is your goal worth putting this effort into you? Or you could also just watch Netflix instead. Work smarter and harder.